Welcome to Beginning to Blend, a new Blender-centric video series focusing on two methods of modeling in Blender. I'm your host and guide, JoRaSe, and I hope you'll stick around for the duration of these videos. And I just need to turn on the screencast keys, which are going to let you see the the keys I press in real time. You can see the mouse cursor down here. And let's get started. First, we need to pull in our background image, which is linked to in the description below. I've got a compressed file with the necessary reference image, which I put together myself. So let's go ahead and make sure this side window is up. If not, just hit the N key on the keyboard and that will pop that up. We want to go down and first, before anything else, we want to make sure that back face culling is checked. Because if you don't, things can get messed up really easily. Then the other thing we need to do is put a check in background images and then add an image. And we first want to open our image, and it's, for me, going to be on my desktop in the Beginning Blend folder and in the Book folder and Reference. Now you can't see it yet, and that's simply because we have to go from perspective view to orthographic view. And that's done by pressing the 5 key on the numpad. Still can't see anything yet, but that's because we're in user view. If we hit the 3 key, you can see the background image looks kind of faded out. Over here under opacity on the background images tab, slide that all the way up to 1. Now you can see the book better. So what we're going to do is take our starter cube and move it up on the blue axis, which is the Z axis in Blender, and just adjust a little bit. Now we want to hit the Z key to go into wireframe view, and then we're going to hit the Tab key, which will take it into user or edit mode. So in edit mode, we can then start to scale things around. And we just want to get the top and bottom edges lined up with the top and bottom edges of the book cover. So we want to press the S key and then the Z key to lock the scale to the Z axis. So that resizes it, and just move it down a little bit more. In my case, you might be fine. Now the next adjustment we need to make is side to side. So for that, we're going to hit the S key and the Y key. And that will lock it into scaling on the appropriate axes. And a little bit more. Right there. Now we need to do the same on the x-axis, but to do that we need to hit the 7 key to go into top view. So there we have our resized book. Slight problem though, isn't it? We resized it in one direction and we really need it turned. So what we're going to do is hit the Tab key to go back into object mode, hit the R key, and then type in 90. And that will rotate it 90 degrees. Now we can tab back into edit mode and scale it on the y-axis this way. To get it lined up with the book cover here. And I'm going to say that's all right. So now we've got our scaled box. Next thing we're going to do is move over here to the Add menu on the left, and we want loop, cut, and slide. Excuse me. I always want to say those in a different order, and we want to use the scroll wheel to put 4 neon pink lines on our cube, and then press the left mouse button. Make sure they're centered up. Press it again. In case you hear any banging, I've got a neighbor who's apparently got some construction work going on, much to my dismay. Now the next thing we want to do is grab the middle, top and bottom like I've done here, and we just want to scale those on the z-axis to where they match up with the top and bottom of the book cover. This next set, we want to scale in slightly on the X. So hit the S key and then the X key, and we're just going to scale it in about to there. Move it over to where this left side is even. And you can use the keyboard as well to move things, like I just did there. And then we're going to scale it in again and move it over again. So there we have our pages, and we can now scale them up on the z-axis. Where they line up with the cover. We also need to do this on the Y. So we're going to press the S key and the Y key. And if we go into top view, we can see it better. We just want to line it up with the dotted edges or dotted lines on the background image. You can see one's here and one's up there at the top. Scale it in on the Y, like so. So now we've got our, and if we press the Z key, we can actually see the book image model, the top cover, bottom cover, and the pages. Now we want to go into face select mode. And what this allows us to do is select one whole face. And a face in Blender terminology is the flat, or should be flat, gray surface made up by a minimum of 3 vertices and 3 lines. So the ones we want to select are going to be these here should get 3. And we want to delete those faces by pressing the X key and moving down to the faces selection. So it deletes those faces only. Now we've got these 2 here that we also need to get rid of, but they're so small we can't select them. So for this we go into Edge Select mode. Select the 2 edges that make up that face, and the same with this one. Now we want to delete these edges with the X key and then selecting edges from the delete menu. So now we've got that. And now what we're going to do is take these edges for the cover, top and bottom, that is going to be 10 edges total. And once we have them, we're going to go into edge mode, not edge mode, but the side view. And we're going to extrude these edges using the E key on the keyboard, which is the extrude key for Blender. I'm going to move them out to about here. And now we're going to extrude them again. Now we want to go into wireframe mode and zoom in a bit. What we want to do now is rotate one of these down and the other up. So get one, I'm going to say at about a 20-degree angle. And it'll show you the angle over here. We can go in and adjust that. So what we want is just a flat 20. So we're deleting the other numbers. Now we want to do the same on this one. Only we're going to go positive 20. And now we can just bring these in. Keeping this edge in line with the edge on the background image. And the same with this one. Now we want to extrude them again. So we just select all of them using the box select, which is the B key. Selects everything that I grab in the box. Extrude them, slide them over. Now we want to do the same rotation as before, so we can hit R -20 for the top one and pull that down. Grab the bottom and do R20 for the bottom and pull it in. Now we need to connect all of this inside. So the first thing we're going to do is get these 2 edges here connected. Just press the F key to construct a face. Now that we've got that, we're just going to continue until we have all these faces put in, making sure that we keep everything connected. And now just connect the top and bottom all the way around on the back of the spine of our book. I made a mistake there and grabbed the wrong edges for that particular face, but that's what the undo button is for. And there we have a book. Should be an easy enough thing for anyone remotely interested in Blender. But this is only one of the many ways to make a book. Stay with me, and in the next video, we'll look at another way to make a book. So let's just go ahead and save this into the beginning blend folder and the model folder. I'm going to call it Big Blend Book A. That's all for this session of Polygonal Art with JoRaSe. If you enjoyed what you saw, how about giving this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos from me. In the video description below, you'll find my Patreon link. Feel free to check it out. Now, on to the credits.